So over the years, there was various ideas on why these towers went down. They say they were, 6-inch steel beams or whatever, or I don't know how big they were. They were saying they were giant steel beams running all through this crazy thing, and it was just one of the best designs and the strongest buildings out there. Which it, so they had all these ideas, like, oh, there was bombs in there, had to be bombs, or they had to be like thermite on the walls or whatever. And really, the answer came out pretty quick. Engineers got together and they proved pretty quickly what actually happened to the towers. And what happened is it was a good design, but in reality, it was only good against some things. It only could withstand certain things, and the design was actually pretty poor in the sense that it only had those large beams on the outside and around the stairwell or on the middle or something like that. And what I would go and check out is this answer: why did the Twin Towers collapse straight down? And it's on Quora, whatever, however you say that. It's QUORA.com, and it gives the best answer to this question. It says how greed doomed the Twin Towers, right? And it really sums it up perfectly. It gives pictures, all that. So they actually, like it says here, New York and New Jersey Port Authority, as an interstate agency, did not have to follow the 1938 building codes that were in effect when the construction started on the World Trade Center. Under pressure from developers and construction industry, the building codes were downgraded while the World Trade Center was being built. By not following the 1938 codes, the Port Authority was able to construct towers using 40% less steel, have 3 emergency stairways instead of 4, instead of enclosing the stairwells and elevator shafts with masonry as per the 1938 codes. The elevators and stairwells of the World Trade Center were protected by 3 layers of half-inch fire-grade sheetrock. Yeah, it was so. If you look over this, there's all these different things. It could only withstand 140 mile per hour winds. There was actually recorded 175 mile winds near there at Greenport Island, 70 miles away. So yeah, there was all these things. It turns out the towers weren't built as great as they said they were. So it says the Achilles heel of the Twin Towers were their flimsy floor trusses. It only had like 1 inch. It was like 1 inch steel braces that were like diagonal braces. It has okay, so it says in 1976, New York Fire Commissioner John O'Hagan wrote a book entitled "High Rise Fire and Life Safety." It discussed the possibilities of failure of light floor trusses causing the collapse of skyscrapers built under the 1968 building code. Wow, so it talks about that. It shows the plan for the trusses, and not only does it show the plans, but it has pictures of the exact trusses. Looks incredible. Like, you look at this and it's like, wow, no wonder they pancaked like they did. I mean, it goes over everything. This is a great article on here. It's not even really an article, it's just an answer to someone's question. It's pretty amazing. So, and then you got to see the pictures. These pictures are fucking amazing. That's the actual Twin Towers right there being built, pieces of it. Yeah, this is just incredible. So, it really wasn't. It didn't take much to bring down these towers. Not only would they already proved that rocket fuel can weaken those large steel beams. They proved that on YouTube a long time ago, right? They can weaken them. It doesn't even have to do much, but all you gotta do is weaken them, and you know, you can damage it pretty good, or even bring it down. But this building wasn't as great as everyone thought it was. You know, I mean, look at this. It's incredible, just incredible. And the thing is, they could have known, whoever, you know, if it really was those Arabs, you know, 15 Saudi hijackers and all the rest of them, if it really was them, which I do believe it actually was, they probably knew these buildings weren't the best buildings out there, and that that a big enough fire could take them down. Because I'm not really reading this right now, but I believe in this it actually says how oh wait, here, I thought this was funny. However, the neocons did not plan 9/11. If in fact they had planned it, the number one thing they would have made sure of, beyond anything else, was that 15 Iraqis and not 15 Saudis hijacked the planes. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. They wouldn't have had to come up with their lies about weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, so those, they probably knew that it wasn't a very good building, and that it would come down. And I say this because in this article, at one point it says that there was before the towers ever even came down, whatever, like years before, decades maybe, they actually talked to the engineer and was talking about, oh well, you know, what about the trusses and the floor and blah blah blah, and was talking about how it's like a danger or whatever. I don't know how he worded it, but basically asked him this question. The engineer was like, well, there would never be a fire bad enough to actually take it down. And, you know, it took them years to get fire sprinklers in there, and by that point they already had the fire sprinklers in there, so they believed that the fire sprinklers would not allow there to be a big enough fire to ever take these down. So they really relied on the fire sprinklers instead of a quality design. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on here. And like they say in this, in 1968, you know, when they were just, they're still in the middle of building this stuff, the codes changed, and so they had a different code, so they could actually go cheaper on this. I don't know if somebody did some lobbying and got it to this way, but that's pretty messed up stuff. Anyways, so yeah, that's kind of like the conspiracy where I was heading. I was like, well, why did the codes change like that, and all of a sudden they could go cheaper? There must have been something messed up going on right there. I don't know. I know that the New World Order, the whole idea of it, goes back many decades, and probably was much older than these buildings. And, you know, the CIA, FBI, all of them were like, they had offices in the World Trade Center. So it's like, you know, there is a lot of questions still surrounding this. And you know, it's like we get some answers. You know, for every couple answers, we get another question. You know, it's interesting how that works. But like I say, I highly suggest going to this article and reading over it. It really tells you what happened engineering wise, and why the building did fall without any other help than just a couple of planes. The fire was too intense, whatever, and poor structure engineering, and yep. Anyways, My next one is on the put options and insider trading. So, peace out.